We knew it was going to happen. There were rumbles that Earth would run dry of its natural resources within the first centuries of the new millennium during the 1900s. Hardly 100 years into humanity's newfound love for industry and power. It was happening so fast and so clearly, yet there were always those in power who would not listen. A flood was about to be unleashed, a mighty force that has always wanted to devour all life that was good and pure. Mankind's hell-bent lust for power and money would be its undoing. Hundreds of millions of years ago, the planet was full of radiation and life. We humans, until recent events, did not know of the gigantic creatures that ruled the planet during this time. Hundreds of feet tall and weighing unfathomable amounts. These titans seemed like something out of myth and legend, but they were real. The most dominant of these titans is a member of the Godzilla species, but we like to call him Godzilla. When he first awakened, we thought he was a monster, thousands of lives lost and billions of dollars worth of damage. But the animal proved to be on Earth's side. Therefore, us humans had to learn to respect him and live in his shadow. By the end of the 21st century, humanity had all but run out of its natural resources. Fuel was so scarce, and the fear of the giant titans slumbering on Earth had all but ceased nuclear energy production. In hopes of creating the most powerful energy source man has ever attained, research was undergone and technologies were made to harness the fuel created by Argent power. Originally, this Argent energy was thought to originate from Mars, but that's just what the bigwigs wanted everyone to believe. Argent energy was being harvested from Hell. The general public couldn't be told that Hell was real, so the true source of Argent power was kept secret for decades. The year is now 2151. Mankind has never been so powerful, with its newfound unlimited Argent energy source. But the time had come for humanity to pay for its sins. When Hell was set loose upon Earth, no one was ready. Billions died across the planet in a matter of weeks, and there was little humanity could do to stop this. The gnarled figures that rose from Hell to kill and consume all in their path were a sight straight from the ancient texts. There were weaker ones that looked like men, but corrupted and withering away. Some were able to float and had a giant mouth, devouring people in single bites, and glared with a lone giant eye. Some would charge you ferociously, and others appearing of mangled flesh and machinery would fire their hellish projectile weapons at anything that moved. The variety of these disgusting beings was immense, and every single one was as nasty and grotesque as the next. And there was one of monstrous proportions, rivaling the size of the great Godzilla. Where was Earth's guardian? He had saved mankind in the years past, but no one had seen the beast in nearly a century after his victory in the War of the Monsters. Just as all hope was about to be lost to the barbarous slaves of doom, a disturbance in the tides off the coast of New Virginia was detected. The king had finally awoken. Godzilla hastily swam up to where he could come ashore at what was left of the tourist city of Virginia Beach. He could sense something was wrong from his ocean lair after hibernating and regaining his energy after his War of the Monsters in the first half of the 2000s. But even the beast did not expect this invasion. Good thing the demons didn't expect him either. Upon taking his first steps onto dry land, Godzilla is met by a barrage of hellish weapon fire. The red sky lit up like a fireworks show due to the glowing energy balls pulsing through the air and exploding on the king of the monsters' unbreakable flesh. Godzilla was not even fazed. After decades worth of time refueling his energy reserves, Godzilla was at full strength and his battles of this millennium had turned him into a grizzled warrior. He walked completely through the first twisted hotel that came in his way that had hundreds of demons firing at him, crumbling the building into a pile of hellish debris. At this point, the demon horde understood this was unlike any foe they have ever encountered. They felt fear for the second time ever in their cruel existence. They no longer had just a man clad in armor fueled by rage hunting them. They now had the greatest weapon on Earth coming straight at them. Then the entire city starts to crawl with demon activity. The one-eyed balloon-looking bastard swarmed Godzilla from the sky, and dozens of demons began to scale his body in an attempt to tear and rip at his flesh. Godzilla's armor-plated skin barely even gets a scratch on it, and he charges through another skyscraper, ripping the demons off him. Flaming portals open in every direction. The devil himself must have been made aware of the G-Man, because what poured out of those portals was pure hell. Thousands of tortured and twisted human soldiers came out, then followed by the most big bastards, or what some have called cyber demons, that has ever been mustered against mankind. Their firepower is devastating to humans, and here they were now, ready to unleash hell on Godzilla. Godzilla's hit by a wall of heavy fire. This time, it hurts. Godzilla's blasted in his gills, the one spot on his body where he is known to show pain when attacked. He stumbles back and has to use a building to catch his footing. The agents of hell continue to pepper Godzilla from all directions. That's when Godzilla decides to fight fire with fire. The G-Man had perfected his atomic blast in the Monster Wars, and after he sat on the charger for so many years, his body pulsed so bright you could not even look directly at him. The noise is so loud that it drowns out the weapons of the demons, and then he unleashes his atomic blast. The beam is so powerful that all demons and structures it strikes appear to be hit by something 10 times the strength of the BFG 10,000. It didn't just come from his mouth like normal though, his spines were on fire. All the airborne demons were being evaporated due to the intense atomic heat spewing from his body. The king of the monsters did not end his blast until everything within 2 miles of his location was set ablaze with his blue fire. If it were not for the billions of deaths and destruction of 60% of the planet, the purple hue of the red hellfire mixed with Godzilla's blue atomic fire would have been beautiful. The demons were gone, and Godzilla took a giant breath of air. But then he caught a scent that made his entire body tense and aware. The source of this was not close, nowhere near close, but he knew his battle was not over. If Godzilla could have communicated with mankind, he would have known that the man we like to call the Slayer had fought his way to near victory and was on the final attempt at saving Earth. But he didn't know and he didn't care. A new foe, a mighty one, had challenged Godzilla. We don't have a name for this Titan-sized demon, so the nickname Hell Titan seemed like the obvious name on the planet known for having its own titans. There hasn't been a threat this hellish to Godzilla since the abomination that was created due to that damn oxygen destroyer bomb. Godzilla was able to kill that son of a bitch, but only with the help of Kong and everything humanity could muster. But that was over 100 years ago, and Kong was gone now. Godzilla marched inland. The red hue of the skies had faded away during this time, but he did not know what that meant. But he did sense that most of the disturbances he felt before were fading away. He walked until he met the devilish behemoth. Godzilla charged the Hell Titan, and then quickly stopped, turned, and whipped the demon's legs out from under it with his tail. He had learned how to think more cleverly after fighting against and alongside his old hairy friend, and killing giants was never easier for the king. What he did not predict, though, was that this was a monster from another dimension. No matter how hard he hit or what strategy he used, the Hell Titan showed no signs of pain. The demon spoke some thunderous hellish words and then swung his fist directly into Godzilla's chest. The blow was like none other Godzilla had encountered. You could hear something that sounded like giant steel beams snapping, no doubt some of Godzilla's bones. Godzilla didn't make a sound. He couldn't. The air was knocked straight out of him. In a panic, he used an atomic blast and struck the Hell Titan. It affected the being, but was not enough to turn the tides of battle. Another mighty double fist struck Godzilla right in the core of his spines, shattering some of them. This time he cried in pain and atomic energy flowed from the wound. 2 strikes, just 2 strikes, dropped Godzilla to his knees. The Hell Titan made a sound that resembled laughter, but then something could be heard in the distance. It sounded like a form of music. The sky burst in a bright heavenly glow. Out of the burst of light, a figure came slicing downward. It was no giant, merely a man. It was the Doomslayer. In the blink of an eye, the Slayer pulled out the crucible, the demonic argent-powered sword, and used his momentum to slice down the chest of the great Hell Titan. Hellish blood sprayed across the lands, shooting hundreds of feet. Godzilla was covered in the Titan's blood, and it seeped into the cracks between his scaly skin, but he was unfazed. A deep anger coursed through his body, and he surged towards the Hell Titan with a fury of hatred. He slammed both of his reptilian hands in between the opened chest of the demon, and with a mighty strain, ripped its chest cavity open, revealing all its devilish internal organs. At this moment, the Doomslayer leapt and slammed his gauntlet blade into Godzilla's flesh. He began to climb his way up the king's body towards his back. and then did something no normal human would have ever attempted. He charged straight up Godzilla's spine, running in the crevices between the plates of his back. They began to glow, and the hum of Godzilla's atomic energy grew strong. The king was about to shoot his blast straight into the ripped chest of the Hell Titan. The Slayer sprinted up the entire 400-foot length of Godzilla's back, and upon reaching his head, pulled a weapon out that needs no introduction, the BFG. In a simultaneous effort, Godzilla unleashed his atomic blast, and the Slayer shot his BFG. The two energy sources combined into a beam of energy that was as bright as a nuclear bomb, and it crashed into the demon's innards. The Hell Titan could not even utter a noise as its insides were turned into mush. Godzilla did not stop his blast until the demon's body was split in two, and then he let the upper body of the beast slam to the ground. All its hellish energy was gone, and its cruel existence was now over. The Doom Slayer had ended the invasion of Earth, and quickly went to finish off the Hell Titan. He did not expect to see Godzilla, but he was glad the beast was there to aid him. The Earth was now saved, and balance was restored. For now. As Godzilla marched back to the ocean, something was off about him. His eyes were not as pure as they once were, and something dripped from his mouth. He didn't act much differently on the surface, but his battles against Hell certainly had an effect, one that we hope does not come back to haunt us. But if something happens, and the king is corrupted by the powers of Hell, we know that there is now someone who will not allow the beast to put us on a path of perpetual torment. What's up, residents? Jacob here. So I hope you liked that story I created mixing together two franchises that I really love, both the Monsterverse and Doom, specifically the new game Doom Eternal. I think both the franchises just flow together so perfectly, and that's what made this really fun to do. I want to give a big shout out to Bill COUTURE for helping me with the art in this video. He's really been a big help lately, and I don't know, he loves Doom just as much as me, and we're really on this weird Godzilla, Kong, Doom sort of fetish right now. So thank you, Mr. Bill. I'll post links down to his work. Please go check it out. He's awesome. Don't forget we have the brand new Dangerville store where you can go and get some fresh merch. Follow the links down below to see what you can get to show your Godzilla pride. So if you like the whole concept of having Godzilla or King Kong facing off against other legendary franchises, kinda like what Alistair did with Godzilla vs. the War of the Worlds and this video right here, just let us know down in the comments and make sure to like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure to hit the notification bell. On that note, guys, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.